Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
The ISUPK presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. You do not want to miss this one, Israel. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The ISUPK, under commanding General Yahana, presents the Lord's 57th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 57th annual Passover, April 4th, 2026, in Houston, Texas. All Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans are commanded to observe the Lord's Passover. This will be the biggest Passover to date. You do not want to miss this. Fresh lamb, fresh wine, and bitter herbs as commanded by the Most High. Only $200 per person, ages 17 and up. The biggest event of the year. There is only one Passover, and it's under commanding General Yahana. See you there, Israel. Shalom.
Nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us. Watch where you stepping.
What I say? Okay. He ready to leave us. He ready to leave us. Put his garment on. I put his garment. Go ahead. Put his garment. Hey, what you got in that bag? Come on. You already know that bag, man. Say less. There you go. There you go. Oh. Are you good? Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, the Passover is right around the corner.
Hey, don't forget Officer Kabar's sauce. His hot sauce, you can put it on the lamb.
Spirit for what your answer. This country. Ahora estamos en una. No, yes, I'm serious.
And what happened in 1948? And so who is the other fold?
What's up? You got a question?
Yes. What is the name of y'all's movement?
The ISUPK.
What is that?
We're the Israelite School of universal and practical knowledge.
That's right.
Why do you ask?
So I've heard the term Black Israelites, and I was wondering if that would apply to the general movement.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, Black Israelite is an oxymoron. It's like saying white George Washington.
Okay.
George Washington is white. The real Jews are blacks.
Right.
That's the facts.
Okay. So if somebody who wasn't educated listened to y'all's message and thought you were a Black Israelite, would you say, yeah, you guys have the general idea, but that's not correct?
I would say exactly what I told you. Like the exact thing that I told you is that because the world is brainwashed by Christianity,
Right.
because Israel right now is a white superpower who stole the identity, the popular consensus is that they are the real Jews, but really they're culture thieves.
Right.
They created a fake religion. They converted in the 8th century, around 722 AD. And when they converted, they created a fake religion and stole an identity.
So what happened when they converted? Why did
No, the people that you call Jewish today,
Yes.
that you believe to be the Jews,
Okay.
converted to a fake religion called Judaism.
Right.
Okay.
That's not who they are not ethnically from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
That's right.
Okay. So how did, you said Native Americans, Latinos, and Black people, they're the actual descendants of Abraham.
Correct.
Correct. Would you say that's true in a spiritual sense or in a literal sense?
No, in like spiritually, we're God's chosen people, and ethnically, bloodline.
Okay.
Like you can't, like if I asked you your nationality, what would you tell me?
It's kind of a general white.
Just generally white, right? Something along those lines. But you wouldn't tell me you're Chinese.
Okay.
And if you ate every meal with chopsticks, if you put on a chi su,
Wouldn't make a difference.
it wouldn't make a difference. Well, being a Jew is not a religion, it's a blood right. You know what I'm saying? Birthright. You have to be born from one of the 12 tribes of Israel in order to be a part of the nation of Israel.
So you're literally a descendant.
Literally descendants. And what they are is Jewish, or they're Israelis. Israeli, that means to be an inhabitant of the land.
Okay.
Jewish means of or pertaining to. We are ites. Ite means to be the son of, the descendant of. What's up? You got a question?
Yes. What is the name of y'all's movement?
The ISUPK.
What is that?
We're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge.
That's right.
Why do you ask?
I ain't do anything. We come out here to teach the truth of the Bible. The so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians are the real Israelites in the scriptures.
That's right.
When you go into the Bible, you find out who the real Israel is by actually reading it. Yes, you got to read the Bible to understand it. See, a lot of Christians will take off of face value their faith. That because the whole world seems to have an agreement of what Christianity is and what salvation it is and what Christ came here to do, that they assume that it's correct. But have you actually gone to study it yourself? Have you asked enough questions to see whether or not that it is the truth that you're learning in the church? Because when you go and open up the Bible, you're going to find out that it's not exactly like what they're telling you in the church in these songs and dances that you're singing. So you can say what you want, you can believe what you want. But the scripture says, he that believeth on me, as the scripture has said. That's what Christ said. He said, you got to believe on him the way the Bible says. Not to believe on him the way that the movie theaters try to depict him as. You're not supposed to believe on the Bible the way that they tell you to think about it in the movie. I just seen a trailer to an animated movie about King David. With little red hair running around, little white boy running around, King David, in a movie that's coming out in December. You have to understand this amount of sorcery that's been put in front of your face for many generations. We're talking about hundreds of years of deception. But you think it's just normal to see white people that are depicted as the people in the Bible on movies and on TV. That ain't what you see in the scriptures, man. What you will see in the scriptures is that the Bible does talk about people of color are the children of Israel. Now, let it be known first and foremost, because people got the wrong idea about who we are and what we do. They say that we're Black Hebrew Israelites. Well, I see people up here that aren't considered Black. So what is it that we really are? Because it's not about color. It's not about skin color. When we say the white man is the devil, it's just because you're not going to understand what I'm saying if I say Esau is the devil. Edom is the devil. Idumea, the Romans, the Greco-Roman Empire, the people that are the antagonists in the Bible. But you won't understand it unless I just say the color. If I say Caucasians are the evil ones on the earth, then why would I say that unless I had something to back it up? Because it's not about feelings. See, when you read the Bible, you're not supposed to let your feelings control what you think it says. You're supposed to get more of what it says until it's completely clear of what it's saying, not what you feel about it. Pay attention real well about what the Bible says here, even in the New Testament. Read. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth. Go ahead. There remaineth no more sacrifice for sin. If Christ died for your sins and you continue to sin, the Bible says if you sin willfully after hearing the truth, after hearing God's law, statutes, and commandments, then his sacrifice no longer applies to you. You got to understand there is a grace period that you're given here on the earth. But that doesn't mean that you could go and do the same thing over and over again and expect that Christ's sacrifice for his life is for you, even if you continue to do whatever you want. We come out here to teach the truth of the Bible, the so-called black Hispanic.
You know what's an ungodly custom? Thanksgiving is an ungodly custom. Halloween is an ungodly custom. Hell, what just passed? Veterans Day is an ungodly custom. Right? Christmas is an ungodly custom. And it said it was kept as a law. Because that's what we do. We keep ungodly customs as a law. Right. But you know what we don't keep? We don't keep Passover. Right. We don't keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Right. We don't keep the Feast of Dedication. We say we're followers of Christ, right? But we don't keep what Christ kept. That's right. Can anybody show me out here that when did Christ celebrate his birthday? Right. Can anybody out here show me when Christ celebrated Halloween? Right. No, you are not a follower of Christ. You are a follower of the devil.
What do you think?
You understand? You know who the true heroes were? The freedom fighters who raised a red flag at the Alamo, saying that they are not going to surrender. The blacks and Hispanics who were allied in freedom. See, blacks and Hispanics, black and brown, we are allies. Right. We are friends. We have suffered the same pain inside of America. We are brothers and sisters. Right. Hear that good. And God said we're the greatest people on the face of the earth. Keep reading. And lick up the dust of thy feet. Go ahead, Dawadah. And do what? And lick up the dust of thy feet. And they're going to kiss the boots of the children of the slaves. That's right. That is what God said was going to happen. And guess what? Whatever God says is going to happen, he does it. Keep reading.
It's unique, that's the thing.
Your name is unique?
Yeah.
Is it actually your name is unique, or you're saying it's a unique name?
No, it's a unique name.
What's your name?
Langley.
Langley?
Yeah.
Like CIA Langley?
Yeah. Last name before they Americanized it was Bird Necklace.
Bird Necklace?
And then they Americanized my shit.
Bird Necklace?
And then they Americanized it.
That's dope.
Because my first name was before it was Storm.
Storm, Bird Necklace?
When they changed the name, did they reclassify you guys?
Not fully, no. Like on all my paperwork, it still says that I'm native on everything, but they just Americanized my shit.
Okay, but no sweat. Let me ask you a question. What did you eat on the res? What did you eat a lot of?
Personally, we ate a lot of raccoon. That was like our main thing. A lot of raccoon and deer. A lot of deer. A lot of elk. Because that was kind of what was in the area. 18.
And you were eating raccoon and elk and deer?
Arizona's whack when it comes to the natives. Because her husband died. They don't treat us very well. They are now.
She in San Antonio? We see white dead presidents and get toys from it.
Tomorrow?
You haven't destroyed the works of the devil inside of you. Right? Christ is not using you to destroy the works of the devil inside of you. He's not. Because you're still sinning. Keep going. Give me
Verse 9. Whosoever is born of God comes sin.
Whoever is born of God does just like he does. Go ahead.
For his seed remaineth in him,
Right. His seed could remain in Christ. Right? We remain in Christ.
Yes.
How can you remain in Christ if you sin? You'll have a better argument. You have a better argument if you was like, you know what, brother? You're absolutely right. I'm going to go look up the laws of God, and I'm going to try not to sin. I'm going to try not to break those laws. But you're sitting here telling me that I can't keep all the laws of God, and I'm telling you,
no, you said you're perfect.
Yes, because I keep all the laws of God. Give me Psalms 19 and 7.
Psalms chapter 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect.
The what?
The law of the Lord is perfect.
How do you become perfect?
The law of the Lord is perfect.
That's how you become perfect, by keeping the laws of God, the law of the Lord. Go ahead.
Converting the soul.
Doing what?
Converting the soul.
Repent therefore and be ye converted, right? What sin can't you conquer? What sin can't you get rid of?
I'm not saying you can't conquer no sins. I'm just saying there's times and moments where people do sin. People do fall short.
I understand.
That's the whole point.
No.
Christ is perfect. We're not.
Because I told you I keep all the law, right?
And that's what you're holding on to.
I hold on to the laws of God in the faith of Christ. In the faith of Christ.
In the faith. I hold on to the faith of Christ.
But so you don't hold on to the law?
Yes. In Him, right? In Him.
What does that mean? In Him.
What do you mean? In Him.
What does that mean?
In Christ. In Christ.
So did Christ sin?
No, Christ didn't sin.
So how come you're not trying not to sin?
Who says I'm not trying not to sin?
Because you said yourself that you're a sinner.
I say I sin sometimes. Yes, I fall short. Yes.
I don't sin at all. Ever. Not anymore. Because I know what I'm looking for and I know what a sin is, so I don't do it. I don't break the law. And before I even think that I could break the law, I call and get counsel like, Sluggy, sir, let's go over this. Okay, so this law says this and that and that. What is this really talking about? And that way, see, I don't know if you have anybody that you can
hold you accountable. Like
yeah,
mentor you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So I don't say like, oh, I can't sin. They'd be like, hey, you can't do that because that's breaking up the law. Even if they're doing something, I'd be like, hey, you can't do that because that's a breaking of the law. And we have to hash it out and let God be true, which is the Bible, and every man a liar.
And if you're not built for the rain, then you're not built for the front line. The Bible teaches us to never run, never fold, and to always stand firm in the midst of adversity. The Lord said, prepare your soul for temptation when you come to serve the Lord. So guess what? We're going to come out here and tell you about the coming destruction of our enemies. And the Lord is destroying our enemies. These businesses are all going to be shut down in a few months. That's right. The Lord is going to shut this whole Alamo down. That's right. You know why? Because you need time at home with your family. You need some family time. That's right. You're going to get some family time at home with your family. The same way you did during COVID. Guess what? And you still going to get a little bread until the money falls. And when the money falls, the shelves are going to get empty. Right. And then you're going to look for help. And the only place that you're going to know that still have men standing is these men in the rain. That's right. You better come and get a flyer right now. So you'll know to use it when you're hungry. You'll know to use it when you need help. Because we are going to be here, rain, sleet, or snow, to teach the truth of God. That's right. To all the Black, Spanish, Native Indians. Because this world is falling.
And everything you're doing, I love it. Like, he's telling like all the freedom, abortion, and all of that, you know, bad stuff. I love it because it's permitting me to work, to thrive.
That's right. That's right. And every aspect of the system is ran by Satan. Medical industry, government, board of education, the school system, court system, every aspect of this place is ran by Satan.
It makes no sense that kids are
everybody will have to bow down to all world orders, or else you have to live.
Or also some guy at high school, on a good neighborhood, he was off on drugs, he was like this, on ambulance.
And that's why we got to make the difference, man. The Bible says, gather yourselves together.
This is my mama,
right?
America is hell.
for the Native American. You familiar with the Native American? The Native American had their land, America, stolen from them, pushed on reservations, and then at the same time, the government said, the lands that we push you on are not suitable for you to raise children on. So we're going to create boarding schools and take your children from you by force, like they do today, and educate them and colonize them into and assimilate them into white culture. You understand that? Where they molested our children and did all kind of heinous crimes and acts. See, what black people don't understand is the Native American and Hispanic are your brother, man. The Native American fails to realize that black people and Mexican people are your brother. And these other nations are not our brother. And why do I emphasize that? Because we seem to love everybody but us. Black people said, oh, this is not our fight, in response to what's going on with how ICE is hunting the steps of the Hispanic man, woman, and child. Black people said in their ignorance, that's not our fight. Nigga, that is your fight. That is absolutely your fight. Don't you know that the thing they're doing to them is the thing that they're going to do to you?
But you have to make a choice, man. You have to make a choice. And one thing that the Lord has for you is he brought us out here because the Lord believes in blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The Lord believes in the Israelites that you can make the right choice, man, and join him and join Christ, man, and fight in the Lord's army, man. The Lord is giving you a choice, and he's telling you to make the right choice. He knows you can make the right choice. He believes in you. That's why he sent us out here to you. He sent us out here to you. For you to make the choice, man. He wants you to make the right choice, man. That's all you have to do is choose not to be evil and choose to be righteous. It's simple. It's very, very simple. And right now, the Lord is putting evil in front of you and he's putting righteous in front of you. Right now, that's what he's doing. Right now, that's what he's doing. All over the internet, the Israelites are set in a blaze. The ISUPK is set in a blaze. We're everywhere. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We're all over the place, right? But also all over the place is Donald Trump and what he's doing in America and what he's doing abroad. That is it. That is all over the internet also. That's all over the internet also. Right now, if you look at the internet, the Lord is giving you a choice of righteous and a choice of evil. You can pick one. You can pick one. But one comes with life and one comes with death. Which one you want to choose? You already die here in America. You die for anything. You die over gangbanging. You die over drug dealing. You die over doing drugs. You die when you go to the store. You die for anything. Why don't you choose to live with the Most High and choose life? Right. That's all you have to do is choose the right way. And we know what the right way is. We're upset about the crimes that the so-called white man has put upon our people for the past 500, 600 years. Right. That is what we're upset about. We're upset about the Trail of Tears. We're upset about Battle at Wounded Knee. We're upset about the transatlantic slave trade. We're upset about all of that. We're upset about the ammo, right? We're upset about bones that they dug up right here, the Native bones that they dug up right here, and they put a museum that everybody's walking all over. That's what we're upset about. Right. Nobody's mad at the color white. Nobody cares about the color white. Right? We're mad about our families being torn apart. We're upset about ICE taking hard-working Hispanic brothers that was born here in this country and taking them and putting them in concentration camps. That's what we're upset about. Nobody's upset at the color white. Nobody cares about the color white. The white is just the color, black is just the color, brown is just the color. Nobody cares about the color. But what we do care about is the crimes that one nation puts upon another nation. That's what we're upset about. We're upset about the injustices that America has done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans every single day. And they're still doing it to this day. And they're still doing it to this day. And for you to assimilate into that culture, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, you are turning your back on your race. You're turning your back on your nation. You're turning your back on your God. That's what you do. That's what you do. I'm upset. I have a fire in my soul because of my ancestors. Because my grandmother and grandfather was hunter trees. Because my grandmother and grandfather and their kids was fed to alligators. All of the atrocities that happen to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And you want to call me and tell me that why are we hating the white man? We're not hating the white man, but we are hating the crimes that he committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans every single day.
Verse 71, that we should be saved from the hand of our enemies.
That we should be what?
That we should be saved from our enemies.
No, we should be saved from sin.
We should be saved from our enemies.
Saved from our enemies. That's right, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. You have enemies, and your enemies is not the black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man that live next door to you. Your enemies are the ones that brought you here and put you in captivity and shoot you down in the street every day like you a dog.
Right.
That's your enemy. The enemy of God, man.
Right. We should be saved from our enemies.
Right.
And from the hand of all that hate us.
How do we know they hate us? Because they put drugs in our neighborhood.
Right.
How do I know they hate us? It's because they put the worst food in our neighborhood.
Right.
How do I know they hate us? Because they put abortion clinics in our neighborhood.
Right.
How do I know they hate us? Because they shoot us down in the streets every day. How do I know they hate us? Because during the Trail of Tears, they killed all the Native American Indians. How do I know they hate us? Because underneath this ground right here, they found dead Native American bones, and they talk about Memorial Day. But what they do, they built a museum over it. Right. Over a dead burial ground of my ancestors. That's how I know they hate us.
Right. That's right.
Because the hate shows every single day.
Right.
Every single day, man. Every single day. Now, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, what are you going to do to get your salvation?
Right.
What are you going to fight for to get your salvation? Because the ISUPK, we're fighting for it right now, every single day. That's why we're here on this corner. That's why we built a school here. We built a school here so y'all can have a place to go where it's safe.
Right.
Where it's safe. Where you ain't got to worry about nobody shooting you down. Nobody killing you. Nobody stealing from you. Everywhere else you go, you got to worry about that. Even in the Black Christian church, even in the Catholic church. In the Catholic church, you got to worry about somebody trying to molest your kid.
Right.
Why don't you come over here and gather with your brothers so we can love each other and we can figure out how to get out of hell.
Right.
How to get out of captivity. We can bring Christ here so he can save us from our enemies.
That's right.
Did you have a question? I have a question for you. How do you feel about what's going on with the ICE raids and Hispanic families losing their children and losing their families and being sent to detention centers? How do you feel about that?
No comments.
You have no comment? Why no comment?
I'm just an observer. I don't have opinions.
An observer.
It's a great country.
Do you have a mother and a father?
Yes, sir.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, sir.
If people that were armed with weapons came and took your family away, how would you feel about that? Would you just be an observer?
I mean, well, I couldn't do anything about it.
So you just observe it?
I'd
your
probably
own
fight
family?
for them a little bit.
I can't hear you.
I'd probably fight for them, sir.
You fight for them? So Hispanics aren't worth fighting for? You said you're just an observer. You said you would fight for them because they're your family. So you don't look at Hispanics as family, right? Listen, this is the key thing right here, y'all. You understand? See, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, I've heard black people say that this is not our fight.
Right.
But the problem is that Hispanics are our family.
That's right.
Her saying that she was just an observer is because she's in her kingdom. She has safety. She doesn't care about other people losing their safety and getting in prison. Why? Because she's safe. But blacks, Hispanics, we can't afford to have that kind of a spirit. You understand? And the crazy part is that America calls themselves a Christian nation, right? They say they believe on Christ and follow Christ. So Christ gave a parable about the Good Samaritan. You understand? And when this man came across another man who had been fell upon by robbers, who was assaulted, he made it his business to help that man. But you can't look for help from the people that hate you, man. You understand? They may walk around, smile in your face, wave and say hi, take an interest in what you're doing, but they don't care about you and your family. When they're getting taken and locked up, they're just observers. So what you should do is come to the knowledge of the truth and find out who your family is and fight for your family.
Get thee behind me, Satan. That's what you'll say to us. You'll say that what we say come from Satan. But in actuality, it is the mission that God sent our King down here to die for. For us to stand up and to do his will. That's right. A lot of times your leaders don't know what the will is. But in the ISUPK as the Commander General Yohana, we know what the will of the Lord is. And we're going to say it whether it sounds right or not. Whether it's popular or if it's the thing that no one wants to hear. That's right. Because we understand what the job is we're supposed to do. That's right. Your religious leaders are not leaders. Right. They're not the leaders that God put in order for you to follow. But these men right here are the men that the Lord sent out here to be the voices of God.
See, what we do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth about the Bible. That's right. We don't teach them a religion because religion is what's divided us. Religion is what separates us from each other. And now, if you're not a Christian or if you're not a Catholic, I don't want to talk to you because we don't have the same religion. Right. That's what it is. Well, guess what? We have something stronger than that. We have a culture. Right. We have a nationality. Right. And that was stripped from us. Right. And now that we don't have our culture and our nationality, we don't have a way to act. That's right. We don't have a moral compass. We don't have nothing to keep us in line. Right. And the Bible is supposed to be here to keep us in line. That's right. But guess what? We turn our back on it. Because we think our oppressors gave it to us. That's right. When this is our book. That's right. This book ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Right. Just like the Declaration of Independence and the Gettysburg Address ain't got nothing to do with people in China. Right. The Bible don't have nothing to do with no other nation. That's and the only reason you don't know that is because of the religion that you were taught. Right. You will never get justice or peace with marching. Right. You will never get justice and peace by walking in the streets quietly saying chants. Right. That's not how you get justice and peace. The way you get justice, the way you get peace is to separate. Right. That's what you do. You separate from your enemies. That's right. That's what you do. Because the only reason they're killing you is because they hate you. Right. That's right. You don't kill people you love. Right. Right. You don't shoot people that you love. Right. You don't put your knee in the neck of people you love. That's right. You take care of them. And you know what? We've been in America for 400 years taking care of them. Right. Because these streets that you walk on, we made. These buildings that you sleep in and that you go to work in, we built them. That's right. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the people that die the most, but we do the most work. You know what they call us during the pandemic? You know what they call us? They call us essential workers. Right. Because we're the one that keeps this place afloat. That's right. And as soon as the house is open again, as soon as the city and the state is open again, the real virus does what it's always done. That's right. Back to killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's right. We should be worried about the people that's been killing us for 400 years. Right. You can't expect to revolt with the very people that's killing you. Right. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to chill with the people that robbed you. Right. It doesn't make sense to hold hands with your murderer. Right. What we should do is separate. And all this love we have for everybody else, why don't we just give it to each other? Right. Why don't we just hold each other's hand and love one another?
Clap it up. Shalom Israel. Nosotros somos la Escuela Israelita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal. Comenzamos de un oeste, calle 125, en Harlem, Nueva York, abajo del Comandante General Yohana. Shalom, Israel. We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. And since 1969, we've been teaching the truth of the Bible to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, informing you that you are the true Israelites spoken about in the Holy Bible. And tonight's class is Isupk's history class. And the title of tonight's class is Begging for Justice from the Unjust. You know, we've been under oppression in this wicked kingdom for over 400 years, right? Since, 1492. When Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue, right? When he came over here and he discovered America. How do you discover a land when there's already civilizations thriving there? There were already civilizations, thriving in this land. Like, let's just say, for instance, in we're in San Antonio right now, right? Well, when the conquistadores came over here and they discovered, supposedly New Spain, right? Well, this land right here was already inhabited by the Cualitecan, the the Comanche, the Apache, the the Kickapoo, all sorts of native tribes that were thriving amongst each other. You know what I mean? Sure, we have disputes and arguments and wars against each other, but that was an in-house problem. That was an in-house problem that we dealt with amongst each other. When another nation comes over here and causes turmoil against brothers, that's an act of war. That's an act of war. But we suffer from what is called Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? We actually side with our oppressor and actually feel some type of a way with him, and that's prevalent to this day, because like as we were watching earlier, how Captain Yatazak was trying to say that we go out to the streets and we march for equality and stuff like that. That does nothing, because our oppressor has no compassion towards our people. He has no compassion unless it's happening to him, right? And it's plain to see that now today, because with ICE raiding the streets of Texas and California and New Mexico and Arizona, and well, basically the whole southwestern United States, and even some states up north. They have basically been given a license to unalive. I mean, they've have been given immunity from the U.S. government. Basically, what that means is they've been given a license to take lives and unalive with complete freedom of excuse me, of persecution. Like, they will not be affected by the law at all. They will not be brought to justice. And the only reason why we see any outrage of them unaliving anybody is because it's against our oppressor. You know what I mean? Supposedly people say that they're allies. Well, yeah, they may have been standing up and for the cause of so-called illegal immigrants, right? But they're not us. And that's why we are seeing an outcry from the media and this society, because of their own people, right? They unalive their own people. I mean, they have no compassion, not even for themselves. And it just goes to show you that why are we trying to beg compassion and equality and justice from them when they don't even show justice to themselves. It's like, begging into the wind. It's coming out, it's coming back void. Salakia. Let's get into some of the articles that I want to read tonight. Because I'm just trying to show you the spirit of what's going on and why our people need to just completely separate from this kingdom. Separate your mentality, your love of America. Because America is nothing but wickedness and our downfall. That's what it feeds on. America feeds on the downfall of blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians from its very inception. Let's get into one of one of the articles I'm going to bring out. Last night it was the Grammys, right? And a lot of people watch the Grammys. It's one of them things that people are really into. I haven't been into the Grammys for quite a while, but anyway, there was a real famous artist that got on stage and he made a statement. Right before he's about to do a big show, that is causing some type of controversy in America, right? Because of how they feel against brown people. Let's just call it like it is. They hate us, and then they do not want to see us prosper whatsoever. That's why ICE is out in the streets. You know what I mean? Because us so-called Latinos are becoming too uppity. That's what it is. That's the truth of it. They want us back into our place. You know what I mean? They want us back just bowing down and, mowing the grass, picking the weeds, pulling the onions from the field and knowing our place. That's where they would rather have us. But now we're headlining at the Super Bowl. Now we're becoming lawyers and doctors and professionals. We are taking their jobs. You know what I mean? That's how they see it. Let's get into one of the articles. It's an article by BBC. Bad Bunny says ICE out in Grammy Award speech. Right? Like he won a Grammy last night for album of the year, right? And this is what he said. It is music's biggest night. This is from Bad Bunny says ICE out in Grammy Awards speech by BBC, right? And it starts out as saying it is music's biggest night, but politics is still playing a lead role at the Grammy Awards. Artists including Puerto Rican megastar Bad Bunny and British singer Olivia Dean, as well as country star Shabozy and Cuban American icon Gloria Estefan, used their wins to criticize the Trump administration's immigration enforcement operations. These have prompted protest in multiple cities. Also, like these have prompted protest in multiple cities. Most recently in Minneapolis, where federal agents shot and unalived 2 Americans, leading to scrutiny of the administration's tactics and protests across the U.S. See, that's the only reason why there's any kind of scrutiny, because they unalived, quote unquote, U.S. citizens. Well, we all know what that is. It's their own kind. The so-called white man, the oppressor. They unalived 2 oppressors, and now there's a big uproar. But they've been unaliving and disappearing, black and brown people for, Lord knows how long in this wicked kingdom. They've been committing atrocities against our people for centuries. And now when it's theirs, When it's two of theirs, this when it's the outcry, right? But anyway, before it goes quote unquote, before I say thanks to God, I'm going to say ice out, Bad Bunny said, referring to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE officers. Like here's where the title of our class comes into play, right? The title of our class is begging the unjust. No, begging justice, like it begging justice from the unjust. I say that to say this. He's going to get into something and it seems like it's a plea, right? Like he's pleading for the cause of immigrants. But it's almost like he's begging. Like he's begging for recognition of humanity from the inhumane. Goes like this, quote unquote. We're not savages. We're not animals. We're not aliens. We're humans. He's begging to be recognized for our humanity because it's plain to see that they do not see us as human. It's written in their constitution that we are 3/5 of a human being. It's still in there. It's still in there. And we want to be accepted in this nation when it's written in their very own constitution, which is basically their Bible. The Holy Bible is our constitution. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. But they have duped us through religion to think that this is for everyone. But this Holy Bible, these are your records. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. These are your records. And the Constitution of America is the oppressor's records. That's why it's in there that they stated that we are 3/5 of a human being. But we try to overturn it through marching, through protesting. And we've been doing that since the 60s. Where has that gotten us? It hasn't gotten us anywhere. It hasn't gotten us anywhere. We're still begging and pleading with the devil to be recognized as human when they're not even human. How can we be recognized as human when he has no compassion like a basic human being? When they would, come to this land and steal the very land that belonged to the original inhabitants by spreading, disease and lies and deception, and feel no remorse towards it. No remorse towards it. They stole our brothers and sisters from the west coast of Africa through the transatlantic slave trade, through the Middle Passage, right? Then they stole our land through the Trail of Tears. And we still to this day expect some type of, a crumb, inkling of any type of love from them. When they have no love, they don't even have love for themselves. I'm like, just goes to show you that they don't have love for themselves. When you go into, the highway down the street, who do you see underneath those bridges? You see veterans underneath those bridges. People that fought and bled for this country. Fought and bled for this country. Yet they're living underneath a bridge. They don't even have compassion for their own soldiers, their own, strong men. Men that are willing to go out and die and fight and bleed and unalive for America. Yet they show no compassion towards them. How do we expect to see any type of, humanity from them? We can't. we're not savages. Like it quotes, we're not savages. We're not animals. We're not aliens. We're humans. He added from the stage after his win for Best Música Urbana album. The hate gets more powerful with more hate. The only thing that's more powerful than hate is love. So please, see, he's begging right here. Please, he's begging. He's begging for, for any type of remorse, compassion from our oppressor. It's plain to see that the wicked run the world. They just released another, some more files from the Epstein files. And it's plain to see that Trump is wicked. He's a pedophile. He's he's a stealer of innocence from the youth. That's close to unaliving. That's close to being an unaliver when you steal a child's innocence. Yet, he's a 30 plus felon, and he's still in office, and people still view him as the second coming of Christ. I mean, man, what type of spell are people under? It's time to wake up and realize what we're living under. We are literally living in hell. We are living a living hell. It's time to wake up and come out of this American nightmare. What does it say? Where did I leave off? Slovakia. So please, he says, we need to be different. If we fight, we have to do it with love. Right? He's begging. He's begging for love from a person that has no love, that doesn't know how to love. These wicked beasts that run this wicked kingdom, it's plain to see that they have no love. From the Epstein files, from the missing children from these immigration camps, these internment camps. There's still thousands of children missing from these ICE camps. There's thousands of our sisters missing from the reservations. There's thousands of our people just missing. And Lord knows what they're doing with them. Yet we're begging and pleading for humanity, a show of humanity from a beast. Salakia. It goes on to read, the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy caused public outcry across the country and led to criticism from lawmakers in both parties. On Friday, the U.S. Justice Department opened a civil rights investigation into Preddy's death. Right. It opened up an investigation to, the son of an oppressor, Preddy, right? He's a son of an oppressor. I'm pretty sure his parents didn't come over, Slovakia. His parent, like his four parents didn't go under oppression like ours did. Pretty sure his four parents came on the Mayflower, escaping oppression from their own people. Right? they don't even show compassion to their own people. That's why they came over here, right? That's how the story goes, right? That's how the history of America was, that they came over here escaping oppression from the British crown. How do we want, oh, you know, to free oppression from them when they oppress themselves? And the cycle just keeps on coming, keeps on going, keeps on going. When are we going to wake up? The 37-year-old nurse was the second Minneapolis resident shot and killed by federal immigration officers since the arrival in the state. Good, the first, was unalived by an ICE agent on January 7th. President Donald Trump has said his administration is going to de-escalate a little bit in Minnesota, while his border czar Tom Hammond said on Thursday that the administration planned to draw down federal forces if local officials cooperated. Yeah, they're just trying to put out the fire. That's all it is. That's all just big talk, because this is what America voted for, right? America voted for this. For a safer border, right? Where's all the Latinos for Trump now? Know what I mean? Latinos really helped bring Trump into office. It just goes to show how much like Stockholm syndrome we're under, right? We'd rather side with the devil, bring him into the office of presidency, and then expect him to love us. I mean, it's crazy. This wicked kingdom is incapable of love. All they know how to do is, steal, unalive, and destroy. That's all it is. That's all it is to in his spirit, right? And his spirit is just to take and take and take. Just like how, they got plans to take Greenland, plans to take Venezuela. This wicked kingdom must fall. Must fall. It's time for us to take our love out of America. Like Bad Bunny says, it can only be done with love. Like the fight can only be done with love, right? Has he quoted? Well, how about we just love each other? Because we're the ones not being shown any type of love, especially from our own brothers. And we want to be loved by our oppressor when we don't even love ourselves. When we go out and vote for a man that clearly hates us just to destroy our people, just because we want some type of, recognition in the American way. We want a piece of the American pie. When the American pie's crust is full of maggots. We're walking on the bones of our ancestors, and we feel no type of remorse. We're desecrating the memory of our foreparents every time we go out, here in San Antonio. Every time we go out to camp, we see blacks and Hispanics just walking over the bones of our dead foreparents that fought and died for the freedom of our brothers against oppression. And we just pay it no never mind. How can we expect to be loved when we don't even love each other? That's where it starts. We got to love each other, because they damn sure ain't going to love us. It's plain to see that. We are not surrounding our mission at all. Oh, Salakia. We are not surrendering our mission at all. We're just doing it smarter, Haman told a news conference in Minneapolis without specifying what form this escalation might take. Right? It's just they're just talking. They're just trying to, put out that fire. But they're not gonna, like he said right here, he says they are not gonna surrender at all. They're not gonna stop, disappearing our people from America, kidnapping our people out in the streets, stuffing us in dog cages. They're not gonna stop that. They're not. Yet we plead and beg for them to show some type of humanity towards us. Right? I mean, there was just an account where, you know, numerous people died, were unalived in these ice camps. I mean, that's an old story because there's thousands of our children still missing. I mean, how old are these stories going to get to you? British singer Olivia Dean, who won Best New Artist, also used her speech to speak in support of immigrants. I'm up here as the granddaughter of an immigrant, said the singer, whose grandmother Carmen was part of the Windrush generation. I'm a product of bravery, and I think those people deserve to be celebrated. We're nothing without each other. Billie Eilish, winning Song of the Year for Wildflower, added her voice. It it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now, she said. And I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting. Our voices really do matter, and the people matter. And SZA, joint winner of Record of the Year with Kendrick Lamar, echoed her message. Please don't fall into despair. I know now is a scary time, but we need to trust each other and trust ourselves. We're not governed by the government, we are governed by God. Before the Grammy ceremony started, the topic was on the lips, the lapels of many on the red carpet. Many musicians, producers, and singers donned white pins with the word ice out in black. Kalani, who won two R&B awards, was among them. An artist's job is to reflect the times, she told reporters. People all over the world can see even just when we open our mouths one time. So I think we have an opportunity to use it wisely. Gloria Stefan said backstage that she was very worried about the state of the US. I don't think anyone would say we want a free for all at the border, but what is happening is not at all criminals being arrested. These are people that have families that have contributed to this country for decades, she told reporters. She she took home the award for best tropical Latin album for Raíces and expressed concerns in her speech about the ongoing immigration raids. She said the country must hold dear and true to its democratic principles, which are the reason why everyone wants to be here. Shabozi won his first Grammy in the country duo performance category for Amen featuring Jelly Roll. While on stage, he thanked his mother who immigrated from Nigeria, working several jobs to provide for him and his siblings. Immigrants built this country, so this is for them, for all children of immigrants. See, there's a voice, an outcry, right? There's an outcry for humanity to be shown upon, the downtrodden of this nation, which are, blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. because that's who's being rounded up by ICE. You don't see them going to, Chinese, like the Chinatown. You don't see them going to Chinatown and rounding up, all those illegal immigrants, the Asians. You don't see that happening. No, but you hear just the other day here in San Antonio, ICE was out here raiding, and they weren't in, you know, like the west side where the Pakistanis are, rounding up the Pakistanians. No, they're rounding up so-called Hispanics, so-called blacks and Hispanics here in San Antonio, rounding them up. But we want to be shown some type of humanity from this wicked place when they have never shown us any type of humanity from its inception. Enough of this article. That's it. Let's get into some scriptures. Salakia. Bear with me. We're going to get into Lamentations 4 and 17. But before I do, I'm going to say this. There's an outcry. We see it at the Grammys. We see, just a few days ago, even the children are outcrying, for justice. The children walked out of the schools here in San Antonio and even in, all through Texas. There was there's towns and reports of kids walking out of school all throughout the country. Really, it's plain to see that the world is mourning right now. The world is mourning because the wicked are in control, and the secrets of America are being revealed. The skirt of America is being lifted up. Its secrets are being ousted. The stars of America are falling. The stars are falling. Trump was a before he was a politician, he was well known for being a business mogul, and he even was a reality star, right? A reality star, much like Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan was a movie star before he was president, just like that. He was a movie star before he was president, Ronald Reagan. So, Trump was a reality star. I think he made some cameos in some movies also. But anyway, that's how he's revered as being a giant here in America. You know what I mean? And he's plainly being ousted out. Yet they're still trying to uphold him because he's the face of America. You know what I mean? He's the great white hope for America. It's plain to see that this wicked kingdom is falling. It's time to take your love away from the red, white, and blue, because those colors have been chains on us. That flag has been, like a noose to you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. We go to these wars. We're the number one, how can I say, valiant fighters in these militaries, right, of America. We're the number one enlisted in there because a lot of times it goes to we have no choice, right? It's either that or doing dirt in the block or signing, either signing up in the military or just struggling to go to college and finding a career in the technical world, right? When opportunities are scarce, so that's why we enter the military. We're the number one enlisted in the military. You go into these bridges and you'll see veterans that fought bravely for this country living underneath the bridge. We have to take our love out of this country because it's plain that they cannot love us. They can't. They're incapable of love. This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. Like we keep looking for justice. We keep looking and searching for some type of humanity and equality in this nation for forever, right? It seems like for forever now. When my grandparents were young, when my grandparents were young, they would tell me that you know they weren't allowed to eat at certain restaurants with the white folk, right? They were basically just tolerated for being out in the field working as a like a migrant worker, picking cotton, picking throughout the season, picking cotton or picking strawberries or onions or cantaloupe in the West Texas heat. They were tolerated for that. But when they wanted to sit down to have a meal, they couldn't go to certain restaurants or they couldn't go to certain areas in the restaurant. They would have to go through the back. You know what I mean? It seems like forever we've been trying to, plead and beg for some type of humanity. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They can't save us. They're incapable of saving us because they're responsible for our turmoil. They're responsible for our oppression. They're the ones that caused all of the oppression that we're under. They're the ones chasing us down in the streets like dogs. They're the ones doing it. Yet we're turning around and asking them begging them for any type of mercy. What we should do is look to each other for love. Love one another. Stop trying to love your oppressor when your oppressor is just trying to get you to not band with your brother, not come together with your brother. He puts propaganda out there so we can stay separated. You know what I mean? He puts propaganda out there that blacks and Hispanics aren't the same. We're not the same, so we're not looking at each other like allies when we're both being oppressed by the same devil. We're looking to be saved from a monster that just feeds on us. And we're looking to be saved by him. I'm starting from the top. The book of Lamentations 4 and 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. It's vain. It's vain help, right? Because just ask that that lady good. What help did she give? It's vain because they unalived her too. The other that nurse, he was out there helping. What happened? They put a bullet in his head. Didn't do anything. Are they going to stop? Well, we just heard, the quote from that czar, the ICE czar, saying that they're not going to they're not going to stop their mission. They're not. It's vain. Their help is vain. They don't even have compassion on their own. In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us. They can't save us. They can't. Why are we still trying to beg for their mercy? They can't save us. They're incapable of compassion. They're incapable of love. It's plain to see that this nation is wicked. It's time to take our faith out of America being great again. Because when was it ever great? When has the red, white, and blue stood for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans? When has it ever been great for us? They send us to their wars and die to be unalived. Yet they still, treat us as if we're not, welcomed here. It hasn't changed since Jim Crow. It hasn't. It's just been masked. It's like spraying cheap potpourri spray after somebody goes boo-boo. It doesn't do anything. It just masks a little bit, but you still smell the funk. It's still there. That funk of racism is still there. Right? That's why we are continuing to be redlined. We're continuing to be, blocked from certain perks that our oppressor has. Like there's programs out there that help the supposedly Section 8 to buy houses. Like I was just watching a video where these Amalekites were talking about how they don't work and they're on Section 8, yet they have like 8 kids, right? And they're not going without anything. The government's helping pay for it, basically everything. They're on Section 8. They're on food stamps, right? They receive TANF, and they qualify for certain programs under Section 8 that helps pay for their house. Like they don't pay mortgage on their house. They live in a 2-story house with 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and the government completely pays for all of it. They know how to file for those special, programs. Those programs aren't revealed to us. We have struggling families out here in San Antonio, right? Struggling families that they go into these HUD programs to get any type of relief. So they get accepted into these HUD programs to get affordable housing. But it's just how you see it. Like they're not living in these 2-story, 5-bedroom, 3 bath house. No, it's a simple apartment. But over there in New York, Amalek, small hats, they're walking around with those beaver felt hats or what have you. Those hats are like $5,000 each. Yet they're asking for help to pay their rent, to help pay their mortgage. It just goes to show you that this country was never meant for you. It was never, you know, the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, all that, it was never meant for you, black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. All that was meant for you was to be, you know, breaking your back in the field, picking their cotton, their strawberries, their onions. That's what was meant for us in this wicked nation. Yet we want to put our love into it, when we should put our love to our fellow black man and Hispanic man that's being oppressed right alongside each other. Let's get into Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It's plain to see that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know, just go ask the victims of the Epstein list, right? Go ask the victims that Donald Trump has affected. Go ask them. It's plain to see that this wicked, you know, wicked nation is ran by the devil, by the wicked. The whole reason why it's wicked, because the wicked run it. Yet we're trying to save face for America by going to these voting booths and voting for, you know, the great white hope, the great orange hope, because he's going to make America great again. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, right? They covered the face of the greatest judge to ever walk the earth, Yahushua. You know, when we think of so-called Jesus Christ, well, the world calls our Messiah, right? They call him Jesus Christ, which his true name is Yahushua Mashiach in Hebrew. But the world knows him as Jesus Christ. Okay, this is police. Anyway, whenever our people think of Jesus Christ, they think of you know, blonde hair, stringy haired white man as our savior. They covered his face. That's how much they hate you, that they don't want to give you any type of credit, especially the greatest honor of all, right? Of being, you know, the son of God. If not, where and who is he? If Donald Trump isn't the wicked, if Jeffrey Epstein is the wicked, if who was on there, that panel that they just got ousted out also on the Epstein list, the owner of Tesla, whatever his name is, it don't even matter. But if they're not wicked, who is? Like, it's plain to see that this wicked nation, this wicked kingdom is run by the wicked. Even from its very inception, you know, they like to say that George Washington never told a lie, right? He never told a lie, that he was good old honest oh no, that was Abraham Lincoln, Honest Abe. But anyway, you know, they paint themselves as being, you know, great moral moguls of the universe, really. You know what I mean? That they painted themselves as Yahushua. They paint themselves to being these great moral men when it's plain to see that they are not moral. They are not. And all that is being ousted out right now. It's all coming to light. Like all their great you know, forefathers are falling down. It just goes to show you. We bring this out at camp every Saturday. You know, they have a big statue of Sam Houston right there in the Alamo Plaza. When Sam Houston was going to war against Mexico to keep his slaves, yet they wanna honor him, a slaver. They want to honor him. So you see all these blacks and Hispanics going over there and taking pictures of that statue. We are looking for a nation that cannot save us. We're putting America at a pedestal. You know what I mean? When America's the cause of our downfall. The very name itself, America, is a spit in our faces because we didn't call this land America. No, we called this land, Anahuac, Simanahuac. Yet they named it after themselves, America Vespucci or whatever that Italian's name was. They named our land after themselves after they stole it from us. We want to revere thieves and oppressors of men as being some type of hero. Let's go into Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. See, this is going to show you how the spirit of America is right now. That we're out there, begging for any type of mercy, any type of humanity, right? And it's just falling on deaf ears because they're incapable of showing love. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But it's plain to see that the people are not rejoicing today. People all over the earth are not rejoicing. Even their own people over there in, Ukraine and Russia and Israel, right? They're not rejoicing. They're not rejoicing. They are in all-out war. There's no rejoicing. There's just bloodshed. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. And that's what we're seeing now, right? We're seeing the people mourn. Our kids are walking out of school mourning. We're begging and pleading and mourning for our people. The spirit of death is surrounding us. There's thousands of children still missing, thousands and thousands of children still missing from these ICE detention centers. When are we going to rise up and love one another and stop trying to love a devil, a beast that just feeds on? It's time to wake up, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. Take your faith and your love out of Babylon. Because it's just going back void. They can't love you back. They're incapable of it. They're incapable of compassion. They're incapable of mercy because they can't even show it to themselves. Just ask that lady Good. Ask that nurse that were unalive by their own people. They're incapable of love. They're incapable of humanity. They're a beast of the field, just feeding on us. That's what they are. Let's go into more scriptures. The book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. See, this is who we're trying to beg mercy from, right? This is the wicked that run the earth. We're trying to beg mercy from a man that all he knows is fornication and a profane way of life. That's all he knows. And it's plain to see that the Epstein files that are being released are evidence of that. It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person, right? Fornication is unlawful, is an unlawful sex. Well, what do you think the Epstein files are about? They're about, men going over to that island and having, debauchery with Lord knows what is going on over there. All kinds of filthiness and fornication and profane ways of life. Trump going down on Bill. It's disgusting. And then, they're just willing to look past it because he's doing good for the nation. Well, what are the quote that Alex Jones said? Something about so what if he performed oral on Bill? So what? Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Right? He wasn't even concerned about his future. He just wanted what was right there in front of him now. He was so selfish, right? Like he's just looking for what's there now. That's why he's up to grabs for Greenland. That's why he wants to go into Venezuela and Mexico. It's not to stop the war on drugs, because he started the war on drugs. Esau started the war on drugs. Whether it was Ronald Reagan, Bush, Clinton, they're all Edomites. They all descend from Esau, which was, let's read it again. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau. They're all descendants of Esau. They're all profane and fornicators. It's plain to see that they're so wicked and profane that even the well-being of their own people is put at disregard, just as long as they get their goal, just as long as they get their morsel of meat, long as they get what they want right now. Why are we trying to plead for humanity from somebody so selfish, somebody so inhumane? Salakia. We're seeking justice. We're begging for justice from the unjust. It's time to wake up. For centuries, we've been shown nothing but death and destruction. Yet we're hoping on a better future from them. It's crazy. It's time to take your love out of America, out of Babylon. See, the only thing that they respect is riches. That's all. That's the only thing they respect, right? That's why Trump had the authority to oust out the Epstein files, but since Epstein was a higher statue, right? He could have stopped all that before all that happened, right? But Epstein was such a higher statue of how can I say, since he was so rich, right? He had some type of protection on him. Only when he threatened a certain family, right? Then he got he got silenced. But anyway, it just goes to show you that this place is just wicked, and they're offing each other off. They're taking out each other for political gain. We need to stop trying to, seek any type of, assimilation with them. Because if we were to assimilate with them, we would just turn just as ugly as them. We don't. Why would you want that? You see what type of debauchery they're into. Why would you want to be part of that world? That's America. Those Epstein files, that's America. That, like, you're walking into, like, that movie Eyes Wide Shut. You're walking into that world. That's what they're into. All the debauchery behind closed doors, and like the P. Diddy parties and all that. That's what they're into. Our people shouldn't want to be anything like that beast. You know what I mean? He would stick his rod in the hole in the ground and seek pleasure that way from anything. They're just disgusting. Why would we want to assimilate into their way of life? What we should do is come back to our way of life, to our true culture, which is this Bible. And that's the only way we're going to see any type of love. It's from each other, from your fellow black man, fellow Hispanic man that's been downtrodden with you. We're not going to see love from this beast. Because they only respect, riches. That's all they respect. It's just gain on something they can gain. Let's read the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 11. For there is no respect of persons with God. Yet they want to say that Trump is the second coming. And Trump clearly is a respecter of persons. How do we know that? Because what he did with the ICE agents. The ICE agents are immune, right? They have complete immune, like in their doings. They're not going to see any type of consequences in their overuse use of force. They're not going to see any type of repercussions from that. Let's go into another article that I had right here. Watch out. Here's the respecter of persons that you know this wicked nation has. On they only respect you know riches and gain, and they're looking to gain a hold of their falling seat, because they feel like their seat is being overtaken by brown people, right? So they give respect of persons right here. Watch, I'm about to read it. This is the Daily Beast. Speaking of beast, right? Stephen Miller's dark message to ICE agents immediately backfires. Legal experts smack down Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller's ominous message to ICE agents that they enjoy federal immunity, and argue that he might have just opened himself up to impeachment proceedings. During an appearance Tuesday on the Will Cain Show on Fox News, Miller directly addressed immigration enforcement agents in a breathless rant that was shared by the Department of Homeland Security official X account. You have immunity to perform your duties, and no one, no city official, no state official, no illegal alien, nor leftist agitator or domestic insurrectionist can prevent you from fulfilling your legal obligations and duties, Miller said. The Department of Justice has made clear that if officials cross the line into obstruction, into criminal conspiracy against the United States or against ICE officers, then they will face justice. And it's clear that what they're doing out there is not justice. They're hunting us down on in the streets like dogs. They're dragging pregnant women on the floor. You know, tearing children out of men's arms that are having a epileptic episode, a seizure. They have no remorse on us. They're acting like ravenous dogs, ravenous beasts out there just looking for blood. Even so that they're unaliving their own people, putting holes, in their own people, just because they feel like they're immune and they can. And basically they are. That's we just read it. I repeat, from the top of the article, you have immunity to perform your duties. Immunity. So basically, it's a license to unalive, because that's the spirit of Esau. It's just to live by the sword. So they go out and they perform the actions and the will of their father, the devil. Like a lot of these ICE agents are so-called Hispanics, vendidos. So they have lined their heart with the devil. It's crazy. It's crazy to me. Our people need to wake up. We are in such of an enchantment of Stockholm syndrome that we hate ourselves, that we rather go hunt our very brothers and sisters just to be appeased by a pat on the head by our oppressor. It's crazy. It's like if we're being lapdogs. it's really a disgrace. Really, it's a disgrace. We need to wake up, and you can only do that here in the ISUPK. You can't do that at Christian church. You don't hear the Christian church talking, standing up for our people. No, you go in there and they just want you to sow a seed and put your tithes into the collection plate. That's all they want. They're not trying to stand up for our people like we do every Saturday when we go out, go out to camp and we sigh and cry for the people of God, of the children of God that are being persecuted by this wicked kingdom. Yet we want to still trying to find humanity in this wicked nation. We can't find humanity. We can't seek justice from the unjust. It can't be done. Stop putting your faith in America, Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. America is falling. Let it fall. Let it fall. Reach your hand out to your fellow Black man, Hispanic man, and lift him up. That's where we need to put our love, with each other. That's the only way we're going to see love, because this wicked beast that controls this empire is incapable of it. All he wants is blood. That's all he wants. And it's clear to see that. And with that, this is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. Shalom.